What's going on today, family? Long time no see. I know it's been a little while since I've been up here on, on these social media platforms, but I feel like it was all needed. Now, look, I've been receiving quite some revelation from the Lord as I've, kind of been away from social media these past few weeks. And I also feel like that this revelation I'm about to get out can really free some people, and it can make people more wise and knowledgeable about, these things that the Lord is warning us about. So I say, let's get right into it. So I want to say about on Halloween night, me and my brother and sister, we were all, just praying in the spirit, warring in the spirit. You already know how it goes during Halloween. So as we're praying in the spirit, I feel the spirit, just talking to me. And what I hear from the Lord is very shocking, but yet not really shocking. But I heard the spirit of the Lord clear as day as I heard this word. And I heard the Lord saying, stay away from the algorithms. As you guys may know, with platforms like TikTok, platforms like YouTube, Facebook, any of those platforms, with these shorts and these reels, it is very, very easy to, consume information nowadays. And when it comes to a lot of these platforms, the Lord is wanting a lot of his children in this hour to be careful with the algorithms. As you guys may know, when you watch a specific video, let's just say I'm watching a whole bunch of videos about basketball. All of a sudden, the AI that is controlling and that's feeding that information of videos that I'm watching is going to start to, display a whole bunch of basketball videos because the algorithm or the AI sees that's what I'm mainly interested in. But I feel like the enemy has been using this to his advantage, especially when it comes to a lot of people, putting out prophetic words on these platforms. And the Lord wants many of us to pray before we hop on these social media platforms and pray after we hop on these social media platforms, especially if we're intaking, prophetic words on these platforms, and take it back up to the Lord for confirmation. Because there are many people, and I mean many people in the body of Christ that are just, watching these videos and they're receiving these videos without even taking it up to the Lord for confirmation, which is a very dangerous game you're playing because you're opening up many doors. And it's leading a lot of people into confusion, is leading a lot of people into deception, and is leading a lot of people into, disappointment and with a lot of false expectations. As I was receiving this revelation, I heard in the spirit Matthew 24:11 and Matthew 7:15. Matthew 24:11 says that many false prophets will arise up and deceive many. And Matthew 7:15 says, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. There are many people who are putting out these prophetic words on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and many of them are wolves in sheep's clothing. Many of these people are operating out of divination, out of witchcraft. And by you receiving, every single word that you hear without taking it up to the Lord for confirmation, you are opening up doors. It's just like the same way how people in New Age, they receive or they claim things out of, like tarot card readings. Literally, it's divination, and it's no different than what the people in New Age are doing. And not only are people receiving stuff, from false prophets, it's not the simple fact that many people are false prophets. Some people you are receiving words from, they're actually true prophets of the Lord. But where many people are going wrong at is that many people are watching these videos and they're placing themselves willingly out of their own flesh into seasons that God never said that they were supposed to be in. As for example, all these, kingdom spouse marriage videos. To be quite frankly with many people, God did not call many people to get married. Of course, that's a big desire for man, but for some of these people that are claiming all these, prophetic, kingdom spouse videos and this, that, and the third, God never told them it was their marriage season in the first place. What truly happened was many people kept watching kingdom spouse videos after kingdom spouse videos after kingdom spouse videos because the AI or the algorithm reads that all you watch is those marriage videos. Is going to do nothing but bring up marriage kingdom spouse videos on, down your algorithm. Now, am I saying that God can't speak to you that way? No, I'm not saying that at all. But you have to know what season you're in. And stop letting the devil easily deceive you into thinking that you're in a season that you're not even currently in. The same night as I was, praying in the spirit, God literally said that not all marriages put together were ordained by him, and to take it up with him for confirmation. Many people chose these marriages out of their own flesh. Many people chose these marriages out of their own heart's desires, but it was never ordained by God to begin with. And because you watch so many of these videos and because the algorithm has played you, you believe that it's the Lord sending you confirmation, or you believe it's the Lord, giving you some type of revelation when it's really not. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear this either. But for many of you guys who have been standing firm for a kingdom spouse or standing firm until that kingdom spouse comes back, God had been told you to let go of that person a long time ago. He's giving you the signs. He's giving you the confirmation. But because you're idolizing this promise, you don't want to receive anything that the Lord puts out there for you because it's not what you want to hear. It's not what you want to see. You guys are standing firm on something that God been told you to let go of a long time ago. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been seeing a lot of 111 lately. And through many people in the body of Christ, and even through myself in my secret place, the Lord has been revealing to me that we're in a season of transition and restoration. Now, not everybody's season looks the same. For some people, God might be restoring marriages. He might be restoring relationships. He might be restoring opportunities. He might be restoring a whole bunch of things. And even for some, God might be transitioning a lot of us. God might be, placing us in new places, new opportunities, just a whole bunch of transitioning. And restoration and transition don't have to look like, a house or a car or opportunity. It could be God restoring people's health. It could be God restoring people's mindsets. Everybody's season looks different. But like I said, just because God's restoring that relationship or that marriage for some person, don't mean that applies to you. God might be actually telling you to let go of that person so he can bring in the new. As for me, God's been telling me to let go of a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of things. Isaiah 43 verses 18 to 19. Forget the former things and do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? So God is saying that, see that I'm doing a new thing. If God is telling you to let go of a certain person or thing, let it go. Because God's trying to bring a new thing in your life. He's trying to do a new thing in your life. But because you're so hooked on this person or because you're so hooked onto this certain type of thing, you can't make room for the new that God's trying to bring to you. If you're so stuck on the past, how can the future make room for itself in your life? We have to know what seasons we're in life. And we have to know what God is speaking to us individually. God might be telling certain people to stand firm for a certain person. God might be actually telling you that standing firm to let go. Because at the end of the day, people have free will and people can make their own choices. God even revealed this to me, that there is a such thing as divine replacements when it comes to spouses. God can indeed replace a spouse. We have to stop putting God in the box. We have to stop limiting on what God can do. Because if people really, really read the words, they will see God has replaced many people in the Bible many times. We have God replacing Saul with David. We have God almost replacing Esther for staying silent because their deliverance was through her obedience. See Joshua replacing Moses, and Moses didn't even get to enter the promised land, but Joshua did. People have to get out of religion, and people have to stop thinking that God will not replace people if they're not trying to fall into the will of God or if they're not trying to receive whatever God is trying to place in front of them. People can forfeit what God has tried to bless them with. For many of us going through this transition, for many of us going through this, the season of restoration, I know it's going to look different for many people. But that's why I say, if God's telling you to let go of a certain thing, if God is telling you to move on, I want you to move on. Because you can be simply blocking your blessing because you're stuck on one thing and you're not willing to receive what the Lord is trying to bring to you. And I know a lot of you guys might be saying, oh, I thought God was never a liar. How could God say that's my ordained spouse? Or how can God say this is a person for me if all he's going to do is replace them? What people have to realize is that God is not a liar. In fact, people have free will. And people can make decisions to walk away from what God was trying to bless them with. Even through some people's disobedience, God can still use that for his will, and God can still use that to allow his plan to be, to come forth. Because for certain people, it was meant for certain people to walk away. It was meant for certain people to stay. God knows from beginning to end. Most of the time, God just needs us to walk this thing out because you don't know the full story. You don't know the full story why this person walked away. You don't know this full story of why that opportunity didn't come about. We don't know the full story. Only God knows. So it may not make sense to us, but it makes sense to God. You have to be willing to receive whatever God is placing you and whoever God is bringing to you in this season. Because if we even go back to even Saul and David, when Samuel was being introduced to the 7 sons of Jesse, Samuel wanted to pick one of the other brothers of David because he looked like a king. But God is saying, do not look at the appearance, but look at the heart of the person. All 7 of those brothers got rejected because they weren't chosen by God. But there go David, who was over there tending to the sheep, who didn't even get picked to be chosen to enter into the ceremony. He was the one that was picked. He was the oddball out. He was the black sheep of his family. And for many people that God is bringing into your season, for many people that God is bringing into your life, they're not going to look like somebody that you will get along with. They're not going to look like somebody that you will be with. The opportunity is not going to be presented the way that you thought it was going to be presented. God is saying, stop looking at the appearance and look at the heart of things. Lord, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? So recognize what season you're in. Maybe stay off social media for a while and get in the secret place and hear what the Lord is telling you. Don't mix your season up with other people's seasons, because we all might be in the same season in different circumstances. Just catch somebody today.